Welcome to Cat Energy Work. I'm Teresa. You can call me Cat. Hopefully you can hear me alright over the little bit of fan I have going to get some air moving around. This is going to be a reading that's a like what's going on kind of thing. Basically, I'm just doing an energy check-in of like the world in general, or whatever is filtering down from recent astrological alignments. It's not really an energy report, so I'm just gonna have it here in the Astrology Tarot periodical as an all signs reading, because it is an all signs reading. I'm feeling a little bit rusty. I haven't been reading much lately. I haven't been posting readings much lately. I've been really doing personal and family in real life stuff and working on the behind the scenes of my business. So I think what I'm gonna do, I've sort of been hinting that I'm gonna do like weekly tarot maybe instead of card of the day, but I think what I might actually do is actually just start another series of card of the day. I don't think it's that big a deal if there's a couple months break here and there. I just have to find the time to start doing that. So we might not see those again until like August 1st, but I think I'll be doing that soon. This is just to kind of get into it again. I also spent like 4 days doing a project to completely rework and repack all of my chapbook packs that I've got here. So I cut these down by about half, and I took all the little artist trading cards and sorted them out by pairs that seem to have meaning together. So some of them might not be the most amazing drawings ever. A lot of them are little sketches. But if I went to read them as a reading, it would have some meaning. So I noticed that when I was pulling them up. So it used to be I would make sure that they didn't go together, and I had like one that was like a really good drawing and one that was kind of a crappy drawing. But that's all gone. These have all been repacked, sort of intuited, and I've got only small format art in there that can have some kind of meaning as well. And I've made some new business cards to stick in there that have a different backing. So the older ones just say artistry and alchemy, and the new ones say artistry on them as well, and have my new website on them. So CATtheMinion.com, I've been working on that. I used to have Cafe Press, and then when DeviantArt stopped doing prints, I tried Redbubble and FineArtAmerica.com and a little bit of Threadless. So I've deleted all of those. I'm probably going to delete my old DeviantArt, just sort of my online gallery. I haven't gotten around to it yet. I'm my only employee, so it takes me quite a while. So instead of selling these as little greeting cards or like read your own oracle packets, what I'm gonna do, I'm still sitting on a few hundred of these. What I'm going to do is finish doing my research on the astrological houses, and then I'm going to pack these with a written reading and sort them into stacks by what the subject matter ends up being. Possibly by what house or what sign they fall under. I'm not quite sure yet. I gotta finish my research, gotta finish my studies, and then I'm gonna use these to solidly teach myself how to read astrology in the houses. And then I will be selling these as readings, which will be somewhere in like, probably in like the $15 to $20 range. And you'd get it in the mail, and you'd open it up, and you'd have all the little stuff in here, and then there'd be a little printout that has the reading typed up on it, which is different than how I normally do readings, which is where you send me money digitally and then I post it on YouTube unlisted and send you the URL. That's what you can get through my website, or you can email me if you want a personal reading. But I do have the readings listed on my website under the shop tab under tarot readings. And these, because it's like a three-dimensional object, I'll probably run these through my Etsy shop. But like I said, I have to finish my research. I took 1 page of notes, and then, which I don't actually know where it is right now, I have to look for it. So that's something that I spent like a week on, redoing those. And I had to make and start my website. I redid all of the images and a lot of the descriptions on my Etsy shop, and I have to finish editing the descriptions of my YouTube videos because I need to update the tarot information and my website on those. I have to finish updating my link tree because I forgot to delete a couple things on there. So even though it looks like I haven't been doing anything, I've actually been doing a lot. Plus it took me 3 months to finish all the cat plushies in this pattern. So this is Kefir, and she still has like 22 brothers and sisters that are on sale in Etsy in this fabric, so check those out. They're all by name, and they have numbers also. So I'm going to get into this reading. I've got 7 decks that I felt I could see them in my head when I was sorting through my decks. So I don't have a spread for this reading. I'm just going to, you know, throw some cards out on the table till it feels like the right amount. Oh, I should also mention that my charms, I'm no longer selling like a print your own PDF. I've started posting them in groups on my new website as stickers. So instead of printing them out and like gluing them to paper or whatever, it's already a sticker, so you just stick it to, you know, an index card or cardboard or those little like masonry biscuits, or not masonry but carpentry, like those little wooden friggin' things. So you can sort of DIY your own like solid charms with the charm stickers, or you can take existing tarot cards if you want to and like slap a sticker on it and have your own little like stickery deck. So those are coming. I have 4 of them that are complete now, and the other 12 I have to recut them so that they don't like bleed too much into each other on the sticker sheet, because it, like, if it bleeds into each other too much, you'll have to actually cut the stickers out. I think most of the ones I put up there aren't like attached to each other. I've done the best that I can. I mean, most people have scissors, so if it's still stuck to each other, oh well. This is all, you know, this is all like, I'm my only employee, and it's sort of a trial and error process. So I've had to redo a few things a bunch of times, but I've gotten into the swing of it now. So I just rammed a whole bunch of posters and starting to run the canvases through the merch on my website. I've got 1 t-shirt right now and a little patch that you can get, and I think that's it so far. And you can check out my Throwback Thursday blog every Thursday on there also to see like older artwork, which is, I used to post like on Instagram. Alright, so that's all been happening. Making new advertisements and all that. So just in case anybody was wondering what in the hell, and you know, the like 5 people that unfollowed me in the last couple of months, that's what's been happening. I also noticed that while I'm sort of been on hiatus, the most popular videos that I have are still my Barbie videos, and I haven't put up hardly anything in months for those, and I do intend to get back to them. I need to do like an unboxing video and some updates on stuff that I've worked on. You know, it's just like I had to stop, like all stop, collapse, and really focus on what I needed to actually get done for the, like, the structure of my business. So only then can new things unfurl. Just have to get everything caught up. So we're still listing designs for things that I've already made. So let's look at, I feel like I want to use the Mini Rider-Waite as a finishing deck, so let me start with these. I feel like 10 minutes as an intro seems like a lot, but I have a lot to explain. I also, I mean, I did a new, I posted something that I don't remember what it was. Oh, it was the cat plushie making of video. That's what it was. And then I posted a new intro video because I was meaning to do that for like 6 months. It was on my to-do list. Alright, so I'm gonna get like 3 or 4 of these. I just want to see what's going on with everybody. I haven't looked at the planet positions or who's in what in quite a while. I know we had a full moon in Capricorn. I think Pluto was either coming out of retrograde or it's gonna be in retrograde through Capricorn for a couple months or some shit. And there's been conjunctions with somebody and some astral body that I'd never heard of in some other planet, so let's see what's happening. 1 more. Okay, not 3 more. I wanted 1. Uno más. We have a lot going on, like, politically. Celine Dion is, like, recovered enough to be able to perform, which was amazing. We got the Olympics, we've got political unrest, we've got people moving out, people moving in. Alright. I don't know how... Well, I'll just see if it's focused in a second, because I can't see a goddamn thing. Alright. Okay, so this is kind of crooked. Hoping that's going to be focused. Strength, Archangel Ariel. She's 11 in this deck. Great inner strength, release harsh judgments, forgiveness, and compassion. It's giving me a little bit like I'm judgmental, but also nobody's paying attention to my opinion. It's sort of like I called BS on this a while ago and everybody ignored me. A little bit of those like Cassandra vibes. It's sort of like when you're autistic and you get prickly feelings about the really popular person in the office and everybody thinks there's something wrong with you until they realize that person's like a total sleazeball. Just trying to get it. This 2-inch screen on my camera is not user-friendly. 8 of Air. An illusion of being trapped, a lack of self-confidence, afraid to take action. That kind of goes with that. And notice that we have 8 combining with 11, which is that sort of strength is either 8 or 11, depending on the deck. This is also I want to break free card. That's like I'm trapped in my mental, emotional bubble of this sort of my voice isn't heard. And I can't do anything about it. Sir Knight, I've just nope. Sir Knight, I've just pissed my pants and nobody can do anything about it. I'll have my crown now. Alright. Dances with wolves for you there. Alright, what do we got? Are we even in focus? Because I cannot fucking tell. We're gonna pretend. I think so. Alright. Page of Water. Oh my god, that was loud, sorry. Intuitive, sensitive, artistic, friendly. A new person enters your life. A relationship begins a new phase. Heightened psychic abilities. Alright, hopefully that's a good thing. Page of Water, that's an 11. That's like my spidey senses are popping off, but nobody seems to give a crap. 8 of Water. So here's an 8 answering the 8. A desire to move on. The search for something more meaningful, spiritual and emotional growth. 8 of Cups. What is that? The... something in... Is that Saturn and Pisces? Let me see. Yes. I just heard a little bit of like Let It Go in the like faintly in the back of my head, but this is making me think of floodwaters. Like physical floodwaters. Weather prediction, flooding. People saying, oh, it's sunny out right now, I'm not evacuating. That's on one level, though. That's more of like a public or statewide kind of level for this template. And then the other one is like, personally, I'm like overwhelmed emotionally. So we have 6 of Air. Finally, we've got a different number here. Things are looking up. The end of a difficult situation, taking a trip. Notice how this horse is in a boat and I just said flooding. Like, I'm being rescued. 6 of Swords is moving away from the bullshit. It's like, screw you guys. I'm going home. Screw you guys. Home. But I feel like this scene and this scene go together more than the other ones. Alright, so I don't want to get too hung up on these. I want to move on a little bit more. So let me start a new segment. Let's get a few of these Mystical Shaman cards. So I want a little bit more on... Okay, so that goes to that one. And I want... No, oh... We're not doing a whole goddamn paragraph here. Let me get something on this trapped in a world where people ignore you even though you have the meteorological degree. Metaphorically speaking. Okay, I'll keep those, but I want something... Okay. Something for over here. Put the band on that deck so it stops fucking talking to me. Alright, so Page of Water, what is going on? We have the Gatherer challenge position, okay? 21. Alright, let's take a look at what's going on with this card. By the book. By my book? 21. Okay. Okay. The ghost dance of the American Plains Indians united the spirits of the living with those of the ancestors to bring peace to the world. Now, the Page of Water is that intuitive, sensitive, artistic, friendly, right? So, like, the new person entering your life could feel like an ancestor, or it could be an ancestor is trying to push you towards somebody. Okay, so when the ancestors are honored, they bring harmony to us. When we hold them responsible for all that is wrong with us today. They haunt us. So this is this Eight of Water energy. Like I'm drowning in the ancestral curses of my DNA line. Honor the spirits of the ancestors and receive their lessons and gifts. This includes honoring your own past lives. So this not listening might actually be you not listening to the lessons of your own past lives. That's not the only thing that fits into this template. Right? It's like, it's sort of like saying, I remember my past lives where I had like 15 kids and I worked really hard raising them. But when I talk about what's proper to raise children now, everybody tells me to shut up, that I don't know what I'm talking about because I don't have any kids. But it's like, even if I didn't have my past life memories, I remember what it was like to be a child growing up, which might be different than someone else's experience of suddenly becoming an adult and having no memory whatsoever of their childhood, especially prior to the age of like 11. I don't mean that in a derogatory way, but it's sort of like discounting somebody's experience because you don't think that it's qualified, and that it includes like other versions of yourself. Okay, so also with this in the middle, it kind of speaks to like something's off balance, but I'm trying to figure it out. Oh, this is interesting because I've got my low-key cat candle over here that I'm refusing to burn until I have to. I'll make sure this is still focused. Hold on. Where'd the... Okay, that's pretty good. The ancestors have a message of healing and a powerful medicine to offer you. Create a sacred moment at your altar, light a candle to them, and let their wisdom infuse you. At this stage in your life, you're done repeating their tragic stories, which is something you really don't want to do. I want to get out of this Eight of Cups energy. I want to move on to something else. I'm not gonna keep repeating this curse situation. So it's like I'm trying to write the new story. This is taking a trip. This is new person enters your life, enter a new phase. So I want to get that fresh, like turning the page energy. Look, Page of Water, turn the page, like that 70s song there. So I'm writing the new story instead of acting out the same play over and over again. So it says in this other part, because it's sideways, we're looking at this, what it says the medicine here in the book. If you're trapped in a vicious cycle of nostalgia, mourning a lost youth or opportunities missed, it's time to make an altar for the ancestors. Collect a few photos, light some incense, offer sage, and open the windows of your house to release them to their destiny and to the wind. I guess that's a lot better than just yelling at them to, you know, stop peer pressuring you because they're dead people. Be wary of being snared in a relationship with someone from a past lifetime, as the people we loved or hurt have a way of reappearing in our lives. There is no learning for you there anymore. I think this is, that one in particular, oh my god, this is going to be a long reading, has a lot to do with what I've been experiencing for a few months, and also someone that I know, at least one other person, has been experiencing for a few months, with this sort of, it's like reshuffling the deck of the soul contract. It's like I might still follow you and I might still be in contact with you, but for some reason the incessant need and desperate desire to be involved with you has been deactivated, and I no longer feel like desperate towards you. This is getting rid of this Eight of Cups energy. So And it might be like, you might end up in this thing like I had for a number of years, where it's like, I want to end this soul contract, but my brain is dumb and I'm obsessed. And we see that we have air here, right? I'm trying to get away. I want to sail away from that. And it's sort of like, it only happens, there's no oars here. It only happens when your emotional waters like rise enough to lift the boat out of the hole and move you forward. It's like, I haven't processed my feelings enough to move through them. I've been holding on to stuff. Like, I've been constipated with my past life soul contracts. Alright, so we have upper world. Also in the challenge position. This is going to be that sort of spiritual connection, sort of where the ancestors can come in. So let me just skim that real quick. I don't know if I really want to read the whole thing, because this, the Gatherer card is kind of the anchor here. It has, the Gatherer also has to do with resources. It's sort of hunter-gatherer thing, where it's like, I maintain my place in the world by not overtaking. Like, I don't take too much of something. I am a people, so instead of taking all of the berries on this bush out in the woods, I'm going to take the ones in the middle. I leave the ones on the ground for the little animals, and I leave the ones on the top for the birds. And then that way there's enough sustenance for the forest to keep regenerating, so that there's more, you know, and some of the berries, if I don't pick them all, will fall on the ground too, and then the plant will regrow and all that. So it's like, I'm not taking more than I need. I'm gathering the energy that's the right vibration for me as a person. 59 upper world. So that was part of the Gatherer again. That's at 3 energy. 21 breaking down to 3. 21, you know, the world number, but it's also 3. So this sort of Empress abundance generative sense. And notice that generative also goes into generations, which is ancestors. Alright, so the upper world. Angels, divine helpers, ancient ones, luminous beings, blah blah blah. Where you go to retrieve your destiny and find out who you will become. Blah 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 blah. It's also where the spirits of the dead arrive when they complete their journey to the light. So their ancestors, if they're still messed up from their own dramas, aren't going to be up there. They're going to be, you know, trapped in the quote-unquote lower realms, and you might have to get them into the light so they can finish their shit. I'm just skimming this, hold on. Ask your divine helpers for guidance. If the oracle has already spoken to you, do not ask for more guidance. Take what has been offered, right? So it's like, I've already gotten a message. I'm not just going to keep getting messages and like overstuff myself with messages so that I can feel like I'm doing something. I need to actually do the work on the message that I've gotten. Okay, it says, while support for a new destiny is not yet in place, a new destination is available to you if you act now. And it says you must deal with lethargy and idleness. But we're also talking about dealing with like irritation and obstacles. It's like, I'm frustrated, and that's what's coming in with this strength and Eight of Air combo. Like, I feel trapped or stuck. So it's like, instead of trying to suck in more information, it's like I have to meditate on the lead that I've got. It's a little bit like searching around in the dark. And I haven't flipped these over yet, but I wouldn't be surprised to see the smoky mirror. But let's see what we've got. The arrow, number 3. So this is going back with the 21. 59 breaks down to 11. Wait, no. Why does it? It doesn't break down to 11. 14, it breaks down to 5. So we have a shift or a pivot. 3, 3, 5, and 6. So I'm missing a 4 and I'm missing a 7. It's like I'm trying to have a progression of energy, but I'm missing a few key steps. Okay. So the arrow is like focused energy. It's kind of like Aries energy. Why Aries though? Because that's attached to something. It's like Sagittarian energy. I'm taking my energy and I'm directing it to a point at a distance. And I'm like, is it a Gatling gun? Where the thing shoots and it grabs onto the wall and then you climb up it. That's that kind of energy. Right, I said, I shot up a flare. And then I'm going to follow where it went. That's this kind of energy. Let me just see if there's anything else in the arrow that I want to talk about. Alignment with the heart and soul. You're on target and you're going to be hitting your mark. Be true to your calling. Release attachments. Free yourself from the bondage of unbridled ambition. A moment of contact where your intention meets the material world. And to set your creativity free. It's about making your mark. You want to be relaxed and focused. Keep your eye on the prize. You don't want to, like, win at something and end up shooting yourself in the foot. You want to sort of stay true to, like, a task that resonates in your heart. And there's also this idea of healing where you feel unworthy, which comes in over here if you've been sort of ignored in some way, where you feel like your voice isn't being heard. Alright, so we're trying to deal with staying true to yourself and not dwelling on that, like, imposter syndrome or this, like, lack of voice. Let's see what this other one is. The Sacrifice, 44. Okay, so now we have quadruple 11. 4 and 4 breaks down to 8, so it goes into the 8 again, but I do finally see a 4 here. So I have 3, 3, 4, 4, and then I have a 5, which is starting to build that bridge back up. I don't know if I've ever gotten this card before. This is in the challenge position also. 44. Okay, I'm going to hold that up there for a second so you can look at it. I like the... I mean, I don't always want to read the book when I read these cards, but there's so much good information that I just, you know, I really have to recommend. That's why I like to make sure that I get decks with the book if there is ever one for it. To sacrifice means to make sacred. The sacrifice is an offering of gratitude made from the heart. A feast of love prepared for the spirit. So that's sort of in the wheelhouse of aligning with yourself and not worrying about other people's perception. I have enough in me that I don't need to gather energy from other people. I'm focused on what I'm doing. Now this is interesting. In Middle America, Quetzalcoatl, the Lord of the Dawn, came to teach that spirit preferred songs and prayers to the blood of humans or animals, i.e. in terms of sacrifice, which is really interesting. Songs. Getting a little bit of Song Sung Blue back in the back of my head with the Neil Diamond. The sacrifice asks that you offer to spirit that which is most precious to you. And I don't think that means like chopping off your hand or giving up your favorite piece of jewelry or like putting your little brother in the altar. It's like the thing that's most precious to you is sort of, it could be like control or your sense of your current identity. It's not necessarily a material thing. It's this idea of sometimes letting go of yourself in order to be yourself. It's a little bit of a, like a hot potato shuffle with the ego. What is the one person or thing that you feel you cannot live without? It is time to offer it all to spirit so that it may unfold as it will. Right? But it's talking about material things. But notice how I said before, it's like I'm ending this soul contract where it's like I'm desperate for you, but all of a sudden I don't feel like I have to have you, and I may just completely like wander off and never see you again, or like maybe I'll keep tabs on you, but I'm just like, you know, casual, like a casual fan instead of like desperate to like be all up in your business, right? It's like even if it's not somebody famous, it's like, oh, I see my friend at the store and I'm like, hey, what's up? And it's like, there's no inkling of like, you know, please hang out with me, like, please marry me, or any of those kind of things that, you know, people do. You know, it's not like I'm pining after this person that I met like 10 or 15 years ago. It's like I'm fine now, and I may or may not like click on their story once in a while just to see what they're up to for, you know, for shits and giggles. It's like I don't have to have this. It's sort of like I give it up. And it's like, it might seem like you've sacrificed a connection or like like your whole identity of whatever period of time, but that's what they're talking about. The one person or thing that you feel you cannot live without. You know, and it's not like, oh, I have to give it up, it's really hard, like I'm gonna have a cheat day. It's like all of a sudden it's like when you're ready, it just kind of, your brain just kind of turns off. And it could be, you might have to sort of talk yourself into another option from another perspective, or what. It's just like when you're ready, it'll happen. You know, it's like you don't have to force yourself to forgive people. You could just suddenly not give a shit. You know, it's like, does this person know why they need forgiveness? Do they agree that they are in the wrong? No. Then, like, why am I holding on to a need for forgiveness? Why am I holding on for a need to, you know, be desperately in love if there's nothing on the other side of that? You know, it's like what if my, and this is Oops, I moved the camera. I did a little energy report on this sometime in the last month or two, where it's like, if you're sort of obsessed with a person, they might be an archetype that describes who your actual person is going to be. Or it might be like their personality prepared you to like know that that kind of person exists, so that when you encounter them it won't be strange and frightening in some way. Or it could be that you've been focused in the direction of this person so long and they're so bright and shiny that you never noticed that there was like, you know, a slightly dimmer person coming up over the horizon right behind them. And once, you know, the seasons have changed here, suddenly you're willing to give up the really bright shiny person for the slightly less bright person but who's sparkly in a different way, because now you can see them and you couldn't see them before. And there might not even be anything there, but you're like, oh, I can see something else now that I've got sunglasses. This is pretty groovy. So that's what we're talking about here. That's enough of that. Alright, let's look at something else. I can also see that as being related to the sort of political paradigm where it's like all of the political candidates fit into a certain slot, and at some point in this shifting energies, like what people are willing to pin their hopes and dreams on sort of shifts to a different person. And that's not something that's just happening in the US, it's also happening at least in Europe right now. So I don't want to make my video political, but that's another version of that template, of the template that's here in the cards. Another level of human activity that can fit into that, right? So it's like me personally, like my family, my town, the county or parish, depending on where you're at, and then like the whole state, country, and then like this hemisphere, and then the whole world. So, and then like solar system, intergalactic. So there's different levels of what's going on here. It's like fractals that you can zoom in and zoom out of. It's a Mandelbrot set. I'm going to put the band on here so I know that I used these already. I got super into having these silicone bands. They're sort of hair ties in the store, and then when I broke a couple and needed some more, they didn't friggin' have them anymore, and I was like, dude, what? Alright, so we're going into the Legacy of the Divine Tarot. Oh, my finger. I want to... I guess I don't care what happened in the earlier cards. I want to find out other things that are happening that are sort of adjacent to these energies that are useful for people, for what's happening, what's energies available right now. Obviously there's a lot going on because I keep getting a bunch of cards like spewing forth. Alright, so we have one. I feel like I need 3 of these. And then I suddenly have Freddie Mercury screaming in my ear, I see a little silhouette of a man. Which is from Bohemian Rhapsody. Alright, so we've got 3 cards. They're all crookedy. I need the bottom of the deck too. So we have the Queen of Wands, 13. I was about to say, why do I feel like she's Kamala Harris? Well, like I said, that's, you know, one of the... Come on. I guess that's about as in as focused as I can get it. Alright, so Queen of Wands. Spicy Empress. Tower inverted means an internal collapse. Like I'm breaking down my own walls. Which is, you know, like my whole world isn't exploding, but I'm having like a rapid like reconstruction of my internal ideals, right? Like my world was built up on this person or like job that I was fixated on, and now I realize I'm never gonna be a ballerina because I have, you know, fibromyalgia and like really bad arthritis in my ankles. So now like my dreams are shattered, but like my exterior life seems fine. I've got a good job, like maybe I even have benefits. Maybe I can, you know, have my luxury bones taken care of at the dentist. But this internal identity is just collapsing, right? It's like, I'm not gonna be with this person that I told myself I was in love with for the last 10 years, and I'm suddenly over it, and now I feel weird because this whole life that I've had in my head is not there anymore. This kind of gives me the idea of like, I'm free from, like I'm unfettered, but it's like I'm free of the prison that I've been in, and I'm like hungry for what could be, right? It's not necessarily like I'm horny and on the prowl. It's like I have like energy that I can focus on stuff. And the Queen of Wands is the ruler of the solar chakra in a way that's creatively flowing. Like I'm spicy and ready to make myself into something that I haven't been thinking of for the last 13 years. Like I'm ready to brainstorm. And the 13 relates to a death cycle, right? So I have my internal tower, and then I'm resurrecting myself in like power mode. So we have the Magician in the challenge position. Okay, so Magician upright is like I'm making money moves here. Not necessarily like literally financially, but you know, I'm in flow and things are pretty swell and magical. Magician inverted is I have been trying to micromanage the universe, and now I'm getting spirit slapped. In the challenge position, it's like I'm moving out of this, it has to be a certain way, and I'm ready to move into sort of spontaneous, like great spontaneous knowledge instead of I have to have this. So this other card that's sort of in a position. Why are you... This thing is vexing me. Why must you... And why is it focusing... Oh, I'm just trying to cover up that face so it'll actually focus where I want it to focus. No. Sorry if I'm making you seasick, but... This... Come on. I almost had it. Alright, I guess that's as good as it's gonna get. Three of Wands, mostly upside down. We've started to move. Right? We're trying to have our... We're trying to get some air into our dirigible so we can take off. This is... Like, I'm waiting for my ships to come in. This is like... like, these are not the droids you're looking for. But it's like the ships I was waiting for, like, went up in flames. but I found a guy who has a rental, and it's available on Thursday. So when I get there, I'll be able to go somewhere. You know, it's like things are... There's an undercurrent of movement, of things happening and starting to come in. Yeah, Mars and Aries. Right, so... Well, I just heard Ozzy breakdown. Breakdown and cry. Something. Okay. Let's see. Nope, Thoth deck. Alright, let's get like 2 of these. I feel like it's just the top 2 off the deck. I did shuffle that. You didn't see me shuffle it, because you didn't pay me for this. So these are upside down, but let's see what we've got. The Chariot. I'm not getting going backwards, I'm getting freeze frame. The Moon. I was gonna say, when does the moon stand still? But it's the new moon, which is like first week-ish, second week-ish of August. So we have, come on, a new moon cycle coming up that's important. And the 6 of Pentacles inverted, which is success. Okay. 6 and 7, that's 13. So this sort of like internal reconstruct is getting flushed out with the new moon in the beginning of August. This like feeling of failure, this whatever I did before hasn't been successful. And it's very much like I'm having my period. Right? That's when the forces that I've been creating with inside of me are destroyed and flushed out. That's, you know, creation forces. This is the internal tower, right? My womb is emptying. Okay. So you might not literally, like, there's going to be a lot of people who don't literally have a period. And some of you might, which is fine. I mean, sometimes I get stuck on the new moon, sometimes I get stuck on the full moon. It's just whatever. But a couple of people are going to have a miscarriage. Hopefully you're in a state where you won't get thrown in prison for that. You know, not everybody is going to have a physical manifestation of these energies. It's a, you know, we tried to run a simulation or a test in the lab. The lab was too dirty, the sample was contaminated, so we had to clean sweep the whole lab. So that is, you know, why there might be like a miscarriage or like a period if you weren't expecting it, or just a lot of like a little like intestinal virus with a lot of gas and bloating around the new moon there. In general, though, this is more of a like physical, a more like spiritual, emotional situation. It can have physical manifestations because we're physical beings. So this is about finishing that deconstruction of preconceived notions so that you can be free to be yourself. Reiterated for the new moon coming at the beginning of the month. Alright, so I'll just put this card here so I don't have to have the whole stack there. Alright, so we've got 3 decks left. Let's see what's coming through here. I was going to say I want something that's not going on the same theme of that sort of ancestral and past life and personal deconstruction, reconstruction. Alright, I will take these 3 cards. We're going to have a little story time here. 7 of Pentacles inverted. So we have impatience. It also seems like the moon descending or ascending, right? It's like each of these is a different day or a different hour. It's like I'm watching some kind of stop motion. It's like watching paint dry. Oh my god, this is so boring. Like, what the hell? And then we have the Empress inverted. So there's that 3 again. We have the new moon. Almost the new moon here. This looks like lungs. Like I can't breathe. Which may be related to any number of illnesses that may or may not begin with the letter C. But again, we have lungs. And this might also have to do with like wildfires. Not necessarily that the trees are burning, but that it's hard to breathe. A little bit of Rob Thomas in my ear there. Father of Wands. So we have the King of Wands to go with this Queen of Wands over here. Notice there's lightning here. And a stick. It's like a lightning rod. This is a 14. This is I'm balancing. It's like I'm balancing the earth and the fire because the stick is like earth. Like I can't breathe because my guts are knotted up, because I'm stressed out, because I'm not following my passion. Notice that the 14 here is twice the 7. If I want to be working on my growth, where I'm tending to my progress without getting anxious about it, I need at least 8 to get over this. But the 14 really pulls that 7 all the way back to the, you know, the opposite. We have the Daughter of Wands inverted. That's an 11. So notice this is balanced out. Well, not counting this, but I have the 3 and 11 balancing this as 14 to get to sort of a null point. This is giving me infinity. This looks like a triangular gate. I want a little bit more. This is like the Page of Water here, but this is in the fire energy. And I feel like I'm being a little bit vague as to what these energies mean, so I do want to get a little bit of clarification. Let me get it from this deck before I go to the Rider-Waite. I would like to clarify what the Daughter of Wands is doing in this situation. And a little bit more also of what the Father of Wands is doing and why can't I breathe. Like I'm hyperventilating because I'm so stressed out. Okay. So I have the Knight of Wands and the 3 of Swords inverted. So it's like I'm in a hurry to take the sword out of my eyes. This is sort of ending heartache, and this is like I need to, like I've got to get a message out. But if I take this Knight of Wands to this page, that gives me the one that I need to overcome it. So I'm not quite sure what's happening there. I think this, I mean, this could be related, but I do feel like it's kind of another message. Notice, like, I have a combined deck here of historical fashion and Tim Burton, and all the ones that are coming out are the historical fashion, which does sort of go back into the ancestral thing. Alright, so let's see what these other 3 cards are to try to explain these. So I have Queen of Wands inverted here. Ace of Swords. 7 of Cups. Okay, okay, alright. I haven't been able to achieve my truth because I sort of spent all of my emotion on these sort of false hopes and distractions. Like, I thought I didn't have any options. I thought this thing that I had my heart set on was my option, and I wasn't able to breathe new life into any other situation. But now I'm sort of rapidly reaching this point of getting back into my soul purpose, like self-confidence, soul purpose. I'm able to start interacting with other people again because I'm sort of coming back into myself. And you can see this illustrated in the fact that I actually want to read tarot again instead of just wanting to give up because I feel like I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Right? It feels fruitful. It feels right. It feels like there's a reason to do it. And this could be any situation, but I was saying that, like, what's happening with me kind of goes right into that. So it's a little bit moving the story along to the next chapter. But let me get some of the cute little mini Rider-Waite with some real basic tarot imagery so that we could wrap it up in a way that's, you know, easy. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Okay. Nope. I was gonna pull the one off the bottom, but I want them to come out. Usually these just sort of scatter everywhere. It's like now that the reading's almost done, the cards ain't got shit to say. Okay, so here's the Tower. 16. Breaking down to 7, which does kind of respond to this Chariot. But this is Aries energy. So there's a lot of fire here, but it's kind of like a spiritual cleansing. There's also a lot of water in this reading. It's like a boiling point. I notice if you boil water, it cleanses it. So that's not that surprising. Oh my god. Okay. I just had a bunch of cards attack me. So I have the Page of Cups coming around. You come around again. That's a really bad rendition of Jet. Where the hell? Where's my page? Oh, here's my Page of Water. Alright, so here's the Page of Cups that we had, and now we're sort of coming around again. I'm like, the fuck is this? Like, I ordered the lobster. What is this? Like, I don't know what's happening, but I'm kind of alright with it. I'm a little bit unsure. I might need new deodorant. Okay, so the Star inverted. This feels like a bad alignment, but it's also giving me, like, if you have an internal tower... Where's my... If you have an internal tower, the Tower card's inverted. The next card after that is the Star, Aquarius energy, which would be like the New Hope. In some ways, it's like I'm repairing my insides. Oh, this is much better. Like, you know, I had a drink of water and I can feel it, like, it's been 8 minutes, and now that it's gone down my throat, I can feel it pooling around my organs, and it's a relief, because now I don't feel like I'm boiling. But this is sort of like I'm not trying to keep rebuilding a situation that's hopeless. Like I don't need more tower. I'm cool. Like I need a drink of water, but I'm not used to this flavor. Four of Cups. Right? I'm halfway through getting over this apathy where it's like, I don't want it. You know, like Ryan Gosling not eating his cereal, and maybe we're starting to get a little Kenergy here. Eight of Wands, challenge position. So it's like I'm starting to get the message, but it's like a little bit slow. Because this would be like it's coming in all at once, but this is, you know, I'm sort of easing my way through it. I want to get a couple more cards to sort of round this out. I don't want any more of these. I kind of want... I want a couple of Mystical Shaman, and I want a Thoth card. I'm going to finish this reading out. Beauty Way. Oh, that's too many. I'll just take that one. 2 and 4. For medicinal purposes. This has to do with the 12 points of the thing being the, a lot of upside down cards. The 12 points of the thing having to do with the signs of the Zodiac, which is really just the cosmic wheel. So we're dealing with, cosmic time. This is completion. It's upside down, and my brain wanted to read that as cumpleaños, so maybe it's somebody's birthday. 4 of Wands inverted, right? I'm not building a foundation here, but I have 4, and then 2 here. All right, let me see what our conclusion is here. The wheel in the sky keeps on turning. Let's journey. I have 4, 4, and 2. That's 10. So it's like the wheel inverted. It's giving me the time standing still again. So we're still looking at this like freeze frame. It's like we're at a point in time where... This is weird. Okay. We're at a point in time where a whole bunch of possible timelines are like not moving. It's like I've paused the game. I put a bookmark in the Choose Your Own Adventure book. Like time is standing still. It's like time itself is frozen. I can see how that could mean something like consciously for humanity as a planet, and in terms of like political, exopolitical, whatever. But for a while it was like the timelines were all wibbly wobbly, and now it's sort of like, oh, we have to wait for them to congeal. But it's not necessarily that the timelines are congealing. It's like the Grand Central Station is closed today, so there's no timelines going in or out, which is a little bit weird. This is the station. And this is like the wheels aren't turning. Okay, so let me look at this, the Andean cross here. Is that... That's a little bit in focus, I guess. Okay. Oh, the upper and lower worlds, and the steps to reach there. The hole in the center is a gateway to interdimensional travel. The proverbial eye of the needle we can all go through to experience higher states of awareness and wisdom to break free of linear time. Holy shit, okay. If the timelines are frozen, that means that the wormholes are easier to open. Interesting. Okay, so with this upside down, it says the time has passed and the window of opportunity has closed, but I don't think that's true. It says it's best to wait until conditions in heaven line up again to offer you a more propitious moment. It says any bold action you take now will require tremendous effort on your part. So it's like knowing when to go and when to be internally still. I don't think this is true, though. I think the sort of timeline freezing is more of a material world thing. I don't think time is necessarily a higher dimensional thing. And we see that, at least in terms of time on Earth, that time is spin. Or you can see, okay, look at this. All of the times are frozen. So I know there's only 8 here, but imagine this is a clock. Each time is frozen. Alright, so 12 o'clock is frozen, 3 o'clock is frozen, 6 and 8 and 11 o'clock are frozen. And it's not saying like necessarily the Earth stands still. It might be like an optical illusion, like when the sun sort of dips below the horizon for a few days around the winter solstice before it starts, moving back upward in the sky when it rises. That's kind of the basics of it. It's not a perfectly accurate scientific description, but I'm thinking that only like from where we're looking at the galactic center, where it's like it looks like everything has stopped spinning. There's that movie like The Day the Earth Stood Still, and we could say that kind of physical stillness could have been from like a comet impact or whatever, but there's some kind of like material, like things are not moving for somewhere between 2 to 4 days, and then like the timelines are going to have a little like musical chairs, and it's only at that point that it's going to be time to like take action in the physical world. But what you're supposed to do with all this information is like heading through the time of the new moon in the beginning of August, probably, if not before then like around August 10th, like the 8/8 portal maybe. It's this time to sort of connect to this interdimensionality through this kind of like spiritual internal journey. So it's not like I'm not going anywhere, it's I'm I'm experiencing this interdimensional travel, like, through my, like, heart and mind. And I think the beauty way is going to explain how that's happening. Right, because the beauty way here is internal. Usually you get these upside down and it's like, oh, I'm doing something wrong, but no. This is such a dense reading that it took me 3 months to work up to it. I swear to God. All right. Okay. It says it's both a path that you travel on and a daily practice. The practice is where you take action to bring beauty to every situation you're in. So it's again, it's sort of like a mental action, which is what I was just talking about. It says when things get ugly, you act to bring integrity and peace to the difficult encounter. Now, when I'm doing my readings, I talk about integrity as having or being in a state of integration where I'm sort of resolving my darkness and my light. I become integrated and therefore I have integrity. So that, let me read that again. When things get ugly, you act to bring integrity and peace to the difficult encounter. That sounds exactly what I just said. Okay. Yeah, see, this reiterates the earlier in the reading. It says, stop trying to fix relationships that you believe are broken. It's like, you might know that your shit is fucked, but until you are able to disengage from that, like, desperate need to have it, you're not going to be able to break free. 8 of Swords, which was over here somewhere. You're not going to be able to break free from said relationship, even if you know that it's broken, until you're hitting that right, you know, ready to give up zone. And it's not like, oh, I give up. It's because that means you're still sort of obsessed and thinking about it. It's like, oh, I actually don't need this. This is a nice new feeling. So there's a difference there. It says, recognize that things are exactly as they need to be in this moment and acknowledge the inherent beauty in that. So it's not like you wasted your time on all the things you were doing. It's a very, like, intense, drawn-out learning experience or soul contract. And that can be whether it's, like, a really involved relationship or even if it's a parasocial relationship where it's like they don't even know you exist, right? You're still having some sort of energy transferal there. And once you finally get to this emotional state where, or just a sudden, like, oh, would you look at that? I never thought of that. Well, isn't that just silly? And then you're done, right? When you're done, you're done. You'll know. But the sort of the journey itself has its own beauty, and that's the kind of, I mean, I guess I would say that, like, traveling from, like, the desperation to the I'm all set is sort of a tunnel through space-time in and of itself. That's sort of the internal wormhole to the higher dimensions. Don't engage in gossip about the darkness and flaws of others. Be careful not to be seduced by the superficial beauty of a project or relationship you are toying with unless you're willing to pay a price for it later, which is, what's being resolved here. So, The gossip thing, not really necessarily a problem. Processing darkness and helping other people with their shit is sort of a thing in and of itself. If you're just talking shit about people, that's your own problem. So that's the reading. My battery is dying, in that it needs to be recharged. My spare battery crapped out and I forgot to get a new one when I was ordering stuff. So this is the end of the reading, and hopefully useful in some way. Like I said, this is like a big, huge, several months long like refocus and cleansing that's happening to me. It's happening to at least a couple other people I know, and we're going to be dealing with this energy, especially on the next new moon that's coming up here, and at least through the 8/8 portal, the Lion's Gate. Alright, so take it easy. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment, check out my playlists tab, my new CATtheMinion.com website, and stay groovy, and we'll see you later. Bye. Thank you for spending time with me at Cat Energy Work. If you'd like to continue hanging out and supporting me, you can check out all my contact points at linktr.ee/CATtheMinion. You can also check out my new website, CATtheMinion.com, where I'll be posting blogs. I've got some merch, and we'll be continuing to work on that as we roll forward. If you want to get a tarot reading, you can get it through my website or hit me up anywhere. You can contact me with Venmo, Cash App, or PayPal. Those are also great places to donate if you found any of my videos helpful, entertaining, or interesting. At this time, you can find real artworks that I've made on Etsy. And again, thanks for stopping by.